Episode 78.
78 is here.
The Wizards of Wisdom episode.
Yes, hats are
Not part of this episode.
Here soon.
Yeah, but lots of wisdom is shared.
Lots of wisdom.
Yeah.
We're talking about kind of all the nuggets of things that we've been talking, topics that we've been talking about with people, clients, and just giving some information,
some experience that we've gone through, and some kind of solutions to topical problems that maybe people in the real estate realm are going through.
Yeah, we talk stuff about the realm.
Yeah,
stuff about closing days, stuff about insurance,
broken windows,
what's
stolen watches,
the what to dos.
Yeah.
I think this is a good. This will be a good little golden nugget. Episode.
You said nugget a lot of times in this
I did. Yeah, I don't know. I really got stuck to that word.
Enjoy the nuggets.
Welcome to the Toronto Livings Podcast, a conversation about all things Toronto with a focus on real estate, the culture, and of course, the food.
I'm Mark Savel.
And I'm Joey Virgilio.
And we're realtors with Sage Real Estate, working together as a Toronto Livings team with a focus on helping you buy better, sell higher, and of course, having a little bit of fun along the way. Hello, Joey.
Hello, Mark.
Episode
78.
Which means we're getting
closer to 100.
It's crazy how that works, eh? Every week we just one episode closer. I am excited for that.
One episode, we're going to just start at 76.
Just throw everyone for a loop, eh? Off the hop. Well, this is a good episode, I think.
Yeah.
You came up with this good idea to just kind of talk about some of the lessons we've learned and kind of tidbits we picked up on the way, especially in the last couple of weeks. It's been quite busy.
Yeah. It's been busy. We've been having lots of conversations with people. So I think just to kind of, highlight some of the things we've been talking about and when it comes to making decisions and like troubleshoot, just an overall, overall things to look out for.
Things you need to know and stuff of that nature.
You need to know. Yeah.
I came up with a pretty sick name, but I'm kind of upset. So I think we should call ourselves the Wizards of Wisdom in this episode.
Okay.
Good name, no?
That's a great name.
Great name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I should buy hats. I didn't though.
Okay. I got really excited for a second.
I know. And I knew you were going to get excited. And I'm so mad at myself that I didn't better plan this out because the Wizard of Wisdom hats need to happen.
Yeah, Wizard of Wisdom hats. Every episode we do one of these will be,
you'll
know because we'll be in wizard hats.
Yeah, we'll be tuned in. So unfortunately, no wizard hats on this episode, but I'll do better next time. I'll take your wisdom and be better prepared on the next one.
Love it. Yeah. Great name.
Thank you.
That will make it on the thumbnail title for sure.
Oh, Wizards of Wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could put our background as like Narnia or some mythical, some mythical place if you'd like. I'm game for that. Cool, man. Well, let's start like we always do.
Yes.
How was your week, Joey? Where did you eat?
I am so happy you asked me this question.
Thank you.
No, me and Molly C were out in, your neck of the woods the last little bit. And we found ourselves at Mr. Zagros.
Mr.
Zagros.
Love it.
I have to shout them out. I know we've talked about it probably in like episode 6, 7 or something like that. But this is a re-shout out because I took Molly there for the first time and I was always so impressed with the way that they build their shawarmas.
Right.
And I don't know why other shawarma places don't do it like this because it makes all the sense in the world to me. So when you go up to build your shawarma, they're not just putting it in the wrap as they're building it. They put it into a bowl. Yep. And then you're watching them put it into a big salad bowl. And you're like, that's interesting. They put all the sauces in it. They put everything in it. And then they mix it all up. So every single bite you have is just filled with like the perfect ratio. Also, it's the size of my arm. So
they're big boys.
They're not small.
They're big shawarmas, yeah. Did you get the wrap? You both got wraps?
Yeah, so we both got wraps, and also I got a donair sandwich as well.
Consumed it all?
Yes, did consume it all. I said, the sandwich to Molly, I said, this is for us to share. I'm getting this for us to share. She had, I think, one bite of it.
That's a lot.
It was, no, it was a challenge towards the end. Do I regret it? To be determined. I mean, I could barely throw down one straight up shawarma. Like the shawarma in itself, I'm like lights out. They're huge. Yeah, they're huge. The sandwich, but I got the donair sauce that they have.
Which one? The garlic or the spicy chili?
So I put. Oh no, I didn't try the spicy chili.
The red sauce?
No, I didn't actually have. Maybe it was like sprinkled in mildly, but I don't remember calling it out.
Okay.
Yeah. But the donair sauce itself. So they have like the shawarma sauce, the garlic sauce.
Yeah.
But then they have donair sauce specifically, which, the flavor of it is
So incredible. I don't think I've ever tried donair sauce.
I don't know if are the sandwiches new? I didn't remember seeing sandwiches back then.
Okay, so a little behind the scenes stuff going on here. So from my understanding, according to the people when I talked to them there, Mr. Zagros is a bit of a franchise. So they've got like 4 or 5 locations.
Right, yes.
But I heard the Keelan Lawrence location is breaking off from that franchise.
Oh.
Yeah, because their website promoted gift cards, and I went to go buy one. And they're like, "We don't know what you're talking about." I'm like, it's on your website, and they're like, "We're no longer part of that website."
Okay.
So there's some drama going on in the shawarma fields. So the donair sauce may very well be a new thing that I've just not
haven't experienced yet.
Yeah, and it could be separate from the Mr. Zagros experience.
So much. I recommend it.
Yeah.
Definitely get it. I always get the chicken. I prefer the chicken personally over the. We had the option of trying both out. So, the chicken and the donair sauce, 100%. The donair sandwich is also incredible. When they start building it, it looks amazing. But there's something about the shawarma because they don't mix up the sandwich ingredients, but the shawarma ingredients they do, and it's mind blowing.
It's perfect ratio. You hit it right on.
Yeah.
Everything. It's like distributing the wealth.
Yes.
Everybody eats. Everybody gets a little bit of that special sauce.
Also, shout out that plaza, man, because
Like
that
it, eh?
plaza's got everything in it.
There's a really good beef patty spot in there.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Jerk.
Mr. Jerk.
Yeah, they butter their patties. It is probably
Incredible?
top 3. Yeah.
Amazing. We were running errands, and it was like, oh, we have to go to this place next, and it was all just like, oh, it's this parking lot. Let's just hop from Walmart to Dollarama to LCBO to Metro.
Yeah.
Everything is in one clean, and then we stopped for lunch, which was like the perfect. That's a great plaza.
There's a Popeyes. There's a Tim Hortons.
Yeah,
it's got it all. Keelan Lawrence, you should go. You've never been. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So big shout out, and thank you for showing me that ages ago.
Yeah.
What about you? How was your week this week?
Just one more pro tip on the Mr. Z
segment
we're doing right here.
Please do. Yeah.
Try the Mr. Zagros salad next time.
Oh, okay.
You actually get more food per cubic inch than you do in the shawarma.
Shove it into the shawarma.
Oh yeah, it's better valued. Like that's I think you could do without the donair sandwich if you get the
actual salad.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's just the ingredients without the wrap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When we do our no carb thing, thank God.
That's the move to do. Yeah.
Well, she's forgot about it this year so far. She's not mentioned it. If
we'll cut this right now.
Yeah. Take this part over the episode. Adriana, push mute. We usually get the salads from there because they're very diet friendly.
They're hearty too. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like that's one of those things where if I have it for lunch, I'm probably skipping dinner.
Makes sense.
I'm full.
Yeah. Those are big guys.
Yeah.
But tell me about your.
Yeah, man.
What are the adventures this week?
We went to Ramen Isshin.
Ramen Isshin.
Yeah, me and Janelle Les, we did today we did it on a Thursday. We usually do our Friday brother-sister lunch. We did it on Thursday this week.
Yeah.
And Ramen Isshin, it's 421 College, Raider College in Bathurst.
Okay.
Actually, Alex Wong, who's pretty much put me onto everything, put me onto that place. Because one of the Raptors, we had a Japanese player who was here for a couple years. He loved it. He loved it there. And his jersey's actually up in the store.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so he's like, this is the most authentic Japanese ramen I've had.
Love it.
So yeah, we went there for ramen.
So your picture that you posted on Instagram looked incredible.
Oh, dude.
It looked like a hearty one. Like it looked like it was not skimping any ingredients.
No, and ramen is a funny treat. What's the word I'm looking for? Funny food item, right?
Okay.
Because you're like, it's soup.
Yeah.
Soup's not gonna fill you.
No.
Ramen is made for samurais.
Yeah.
Ramen is, I'm totally making this up, but when the samurais used to go to war, they would eat a bowl of ramen to make it through the cold winter nights. And I'm kind of a samurai myself. Not sure if you're aware of this.
Wizard, samurai, lots of hats.
I've lived a lot of lives, right? A samurai hat would be pretty cool.
That would be, listen, I'd be into that.
With the little side flaps, I'd definitely be down if we could find a samurai hat for us. Episode 100.
Yeah.
Samurai Savel is coming. So yeah, don't take any of that as fact because I don't know if it's accurate or not. But a bowl of ramen is so it sneaks up on you because they pack that thing.
Yes.
There's layers to ramen.
Yes.
The broth in itself, I feel like, is like 700 calories. Like it's so dense.
Yeah, it's 100%. And then it's like you get surprises in the broth.
So, you remember when you were a kid and you got cereal because there was toys in it?
Yeah.
Ramen is adult cereal for adults.
That's a connection and a half right there.
You don't know what you're going to get in there.
Yeah.
So like, oh, look at this, a brown egg. Where were you my whole life? Oh, 3 slabs of pork belly. Don't mind if I do.
Yeah, a couple of mushrooms down here too. Yeah.
Bamboo shoots? Let's go, right? So I got the garlic one. I got the name somewhere in here. I got the roasted garlic shoyu. Yeah.
When it has garlic in the name, that's 100%. I'm ordering it.
Same.
Yeah.
If there's garlic, I'm sold on that. There is apparently a Red Dragon one. When I posted it up on the gram, a lot of people were like, "You got to try the Red Dragon." Now it's spicy, and I'm not crazy with spice and soup. I kind of think they should be separated. Save it for the Mexican food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I gotta try that next time.
Spice and soup is like hits different too.
Yeah,
it's all in the liquid, so
right.
it just hits the back of your throat like in like seconds.
You get a little
sends
you off to another another era.
The steam comes off the head.
Yeah. But fun fact: my sister's vegetarian,
right?
And I saw these veggie nuggets on there.
Okay.
I was like, let's try them. She's like, yeah, whatever, get them, dude.
Oh, really?
They had to be chicken. There's no way these were veggie.
They just call them veggie on the menu.
They were so close to chicken flavor that Janelle S. was appalled to eat them.
Oh, really?
She's like, this can't be vegetarian.
Wow.
So I think it is vegetarian. She's just,
It's just the texture was that.
It was spot on.
All right.
Their nuggets from that place, and I slammed them. It was like the McDonald's nuggets.
Right.
Tasted like that.
I got you.
Fantastic, and probably healthy.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like...
It wasn't actual meat.
Yeah. But incredible place. 421 College. Definitely suggest it. And for dessert, we went across the street to Manic Coffee.
Manic Coffee.
Yeah. Remember when we did the coffee review in the East End by Chris Mulder?
Yes.
And there was that squirrel place?
Yes.
Yeah, it was the same type of coffee.
Okay.
Dude, I had one of those.
Oh, flying?
I lost my mind.
Flying squirrel.
Flying squirrel. I lost my mind for the rest of the day. I was like... productivity master, like octopus with 12 arms. It did so many things. I don't remember any of them, but I did so many things.
It's all a blur.
And big fan of it.
Love it. Okay, that's good to know. If you need a good pick me up.
Pick me up. And second pick me up, I think we should add to the list. We went to Brewing Brokers last week, you and I.
Oh, yeah. We should talk about this.
Right?
I was so impressed with that coffee.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not like I'm not nearly as much of a coffee connoisseur as you, but like that was a standout when it comes to flavor.
Really was.
Yeah.
Really was, man. Let's take a minute to talk about that.
Yeah.
So Brewing Brokers is competition. It's a real estate brokerage office that I've always been intrigued by because my dream is always to open a coffee shop and a real estate office in 2-in-1, and they actually built the dream.
Yeah.
So I was always a little skeptical, like, is this going to be another one of those fly-by-night places? But we were lucky enough to do a deal at the church, 1183 Dufferin, with an agent from there.
Right.
And I was like, you know what better opportunity to go out and kind of see what your place is about? It was fantastic.
Oh, it's I also, so it's subtle.
Very subtle. And that's what I think they do well.
Yes. So I was expecting, the waiter to come to your table and say, hey, also, are you looking to buy or sell?
Yeah. Check out our open house down the street with your macchiato.
But no, it was just like it's a coffee shop in the front.
In the purest form.
Yeah.
It was a coffee shop. And they served what I thought was going to be very hipster or new age coffee. Right off the hop, I'm like, we're not going to like this coffee.
Right.
And you're like, ooh, that smell is sharp. Like, I think it's going to be a bitter coffee. But the second it hit the tongue,
they nailed it.
It was the first time I think I saw hipster beans executed to their fullest extent.
To
what they're supposed to taste like.
Yes.
They used Ethica roasters.
Right.
And I've never heard of this company before, but when I posted up on the gram, I don't know how many DMs I got.
Oh, really? Eh?
Dude, everyone was like, bro, best coffee in the city.
It was incredible. So I usually when you are reading the coffee flavors and you're seeing that they have hints of like some type of fruit or something.
Apricot.
Yeah. And you're just like, yeah, sure. It just all melted into coffee flavor.
Yeah.
But this was like, you actually tasted it, but not in a burnt way. It was like, it came through really, really nice. It wasn't like fruity, but like you got the hint of it in your coffee.
Yeah.
In a really like subtle and nice way. I was impressed.
I think like the best analogy to kind of describe this is like wine. Wine can be very off if it's not stored properly. You get those bitter wines. And when the wine is just stored absolutely perfect and all the notes come through, that's what Brewing Brokers did to coffee.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just was the perfect balance.
Totally agree.
Those girls behind the machine were like dialed in.
Yeah.
And such a nice touch. Sparkling water with your coffee.
Oh man, actually that went a long way as well. Yeah.
That little cup of water just perfectly
cleanse the palate. Like they did it right.
Yeah, super happy with it. Brewing Brokers, they're at Yonge and Lawrence. I don't have the exact address. I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah,
pardon me. I'll put it in the show notes, but it's definitely if you're looking for good coffee north Midtown, stop by there.
Yeah, Yonge and Lawrence, right on Yonge Street.
Yeah, don't take any other information from them. For all your real estate needs, avoid them. Actually, the realtor was so sweet to deal with on the other side. Such a refreshing approach. Amazing. And just no ego. We got the deal done, and she was fantastic.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Big fan.
Shout out the coffee. Shout out Brewing Brokers.
Yeah. Can I use this opportunity to do our plug for follow, like, and subscribe?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You may.
Okay, so I would say this week, like, subscribe, follow, and it's working. These messages are working because we got another hate comment.
Love it.
Yes.
Okay. Amazing. Let's hear it.
Stefan Formwell 4578 said, "Oh, so tragic. More fools with microphones." To which I said, "Thanks, bro. Please like and subscribe."
Yeah.
I will befriend all the haters out there.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Every week we're growing. We're getting like 5-10 followers on YouTube.
Love it. Yeah. The trajectory is up.
Yeah.
And I'm dedicating it completely to these shout outs that we've been doing to ask everybody to actually subscribe. So thank you.
Yes, thank you.
That it is working and it's and you are subscribing. It's going a long way.
These tragic fools are very happy with that.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man, you want to feel my shirt? Sorry, it's so smooth.
It does look
Proper?
Yeah, and feels proper.
Suede.
How
Guess how much I paid for it?
much?
Throw a number at me.
I don't know. Suede is expensive, isn't it?
Damn right it is.
Let's call it, and that's like a nice looking shirt. Let's call it 100 and
Look at that inside.
let's go 150.
$1.50? $12.
Oh, God bless.
Price is wrong.
God bless.
My mother-in-law called me, and this is a little news you can use. I think I'm going to sneak this in under that segment.
Okay.
Banana Republic Dufferin Mall.
Okay.
We're gonna restyle you top to bottom for like $43. You're gonna have a week's worth of wardrobe.
That was $12 at Dufferin Mall?
This is $12. Banana Republic Dufferin Mall, low key, one of the greatest places to buy like really good pieces of clothing.
Get out of here.
Like incredible, dude. You can't even buy a T-shirt for $12.
I haven't seen Banana Republic in Costco, by the way. They've been starting to make appearances.
They have,
Yes.
as has Benetton at Costco.
I don't know what's happening. Costco's got the links, man.
Right? So Banana Republic apparently hired a new buyer, and their clothes and their styles has been like really spot on for the last little bit. Yeah. But Dufferin Mall has like a bit of an outlet location, so everything's like 45-60% off.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
Right?
I will definitely be there.
I love the Shanghai 360 in the food court.
Yeah.
So I always stop by Banana Republic to see what's there. Bro, you pick up pieces for like $40-50.
That's incredible.
You can't go wrong. Even if I wash this once and it falls apart, I got my money's worth.
$12, yeah.
Right? And it's suede. It's yeah. So she FaceTimed me from Banana Republic. She's like, "You should buy this." I'm like, "Oh, I don't need anything right now. It's $12. You're buying it." All right, pick it up. Well, in fairness, it was $17.
All right.
But she had $5 in banana bucks.
Banana bucks?
Banana bucks.
Is that what they actually call them? Because,
No, that's what I call them.
That is actually incredible.
They should call them
They
banana
should,
bucks.
absolutely.
So because we've shopped there quite a bit in the last 2 months, we've accumulated.
Accumulated a bunch of banana bucks.
So from $17 to $12, and like all day yesterday, she's like, "You look so smart in it. Good buy, good purchase." So we'll go, man. We'll deck you out.
Amazing. I'm so down, man. I'll
Thank
go
you.
so full suede suit, man. Track suit.
Because like some of the sizes, like you have to be a little bit taller, and you know they're gonna very Joey
got
approved.
this. Yeah. Very Joey approved.
Very Joey approved. So, men, if you're looking to look fresh this winter with a nice suede shirt,
Dufferin Mall.
from all, accumulate those banana bucks, and you too can look as fresh as me.
Amazing.
I told my mother-in-law I'd somehow shout her out of the podcast, so there's a shout out.
This is worth it. This is a good shout
Ruby S, this is your shout out.
All right. Shall we switch gears?
Yeah.
Well, we're getting into news you can use. News you can use.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a while.
I know it's been the transitions have been. But that's all right.
Yeah,
We're progressing.
yeah, exactly. We're growing.
We're maturing.
Maturing. I like that. Bank of Canada is meeting this week. Thoughts? Any thoughts have changed since the last one? Do you think we're getting a cut still, or do you think we're gonna hold?
I'm gonna say we're still on the cut trajectory.
Yeah, I agree. 0.25?
Yeah. Nothing too aggressive. I think we're not at this point where it's like too drastic yet, so they still can cut it comfortably.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my guess.
I also think tariff talk is on the minds of a lot of people,
Right.
policymakers, and if tariffs do come and they do impact things as they're predicting they would, I think it's good to get ahead of the cuts so they're not
Doing it after the fact.
After the fact,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's exactly it. Yeah.
So 0.25.
All right, 0.25.
Yeah.
We're making the same bet.
We're locking it in.
Lock it in.
Yeah. Dougie's got some Dougie dollars. You thought I was done with banana bucks? Dougie dollars.
Dougie dollars coming in.
Coming in hot. You could buy a lot of Banana Republic with your Dougie dollars.
Yeah. Did he send his
Some people received them.
Okay. I have not noticed it. If it came through, I have to look.
I think it's only in the mail. I don't think it's a direct deposit.
Oh, okay. So I will definitely notice it.
So the only caveat is you had to have filed your taxes. My dad's losing his mind over all this money coming in the mail because he's like carbon tax, and then he got another. Why is money coming? What's going on here? So I had to break it down and explain to him who is trying to buy your votes and why and all this stuff. He doesn't care. He's like, I got $200. I'm spending
sounds
it.
good to me.
Yeah. So look out for that in the mail this week because Dougie's sending everybody who's filed their taxes last year $200.
Love it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
What were you going to spend your Dougie dollars on?
I've already spent it. Yeah, I've already spent it.
Mr. Zagros?
Mr. Zagros got my money. Tzatziki got my money. Yesterday, Burrito Bros got my money. Let's be honest, I've already spent that.
And I feel like Uber's taking $5 off every one of those.
Uber's thinking it's cut.
The dark hand of Uber's creeping in. May I suggest a foot massage in Markham?
Yes, you may.
Okay, that's my suggestion.
Okay.
Take your Dougie dollars, go to Markham. We've become infatuated with getting foot massages.
Foot massage is a thing.
Yeah.
All right.
You get
New trend of 2025.
If you've not been, and apparently, do you like massages?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. A lot of people that I tell it to, they're like, I've never had a massage in my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I hate being touched. And I'm like, what?
No. I have my back is like knots.
Yeah.
Just all knots. Whenever I have a chance for somebody to like
Beat into it?
beat the hell out of my back, yeah, I take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they won't do that at the foot massage place, but well, I mean, they actually could.
Do like back massages?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's a full like encompassing.
Yeah, they're known for their foot massages, but you could pay for back massage
back
if you so
massage.
chose
Yeah,
to.
gotcha. I've never done one of those. I've never done like a something specific other than like
The
regular deep
physio,
tissue.
yeah, type thing. Swedish massage, I think they typically call it.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's the standard one. Yeah, this is like $60.
Okay.
You get 15 minutes on your neck and shoulders and 45 minutes on your feet.
That's not bad.
You sit in a comfy chair.
Yeah.
It's a private room. You can put the TV on if you want. It's like I don't know. I think it's really good value.
That's pretty solid.
Like if I'm spending $60 somewhere, like what can you do for $60?
I mean, how long would they give you? So it's an hour.
It's an hour.
It's an hour.
Yeah.
An hour at a time. Yeah.
An hour to yourself,
pretty good.
no phone, get your foot massage. Like, I don't know. Everyone's like, you're crazy to try these places. I'm like, what do you think happens there? I'm with my wife. Every time I post it, they're like, oh, one of those. I'm like, yeah, it's a foot massage. Like, it's a foot massage. So we went with the mother-in-law last night and she approved it too.
Love it. Okay. Yeah. The three you went.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, you could do up to 4 people in a room.
Groups of 4 in one room. Okay, gotcha. Oh, you get a private, like, it's like a private
Yeah,
situation.
it's a VIP lounge.
Oh my God. That's pretty awesome.
There's a big screen TV. They'll play like relaxing music or you can put the game on if you want.
Love that. I actually do love that.
Really good value.
$60. I like it.
I don't know. I'm thinking of doing like a client appreciation day there.
Yeah. Not a bad idea.
Book the place out, like an hour to yourself.
Yeah.
Something to think about. But yeah, that's all I got with my Dougie bucks.
Amazing.
All right, well, that's all the news you can use this week.
Yeah.
So, listing wise, things are getting very busy.
Yeah, there's lots happening for sure. You got a lot on the table.
I got a lot off the table in the last 7 days.
Yeah, also true.
I think every agent I'm talking to is seeing a lot of activity in the condo market.
Yeah.
It's picking back up quite a bit. The developer lot we had, we sold it conditional, which was a really good sign that there is confidence in building.
Yep.
It's a single family house that the person will be building, but nonetheless, that was a market that was a little shaky last year. And it's good to see that we got something as quick as we did, I guess I would say.
Yeah, which is incredible because you were only on for
A week or two?
2 weeks. Yeah.
Good indicator.
That's a great indicator.
Yeah. And this is just a lot sale. So as cold as the week was, there were still people walking the lot to check it out. So that's pretty good indicator, I would say.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We also have leases. We have a lot of rentals up right now.
Yeah, it's picking back up.
Yeah. Traffic's coming through, which is nice to see. Actually, we just had a adjustment in price for 101 Subway Crescent, Unit 304.
What are you at now?
So we're at 2,300.
Love it.
We went up originally at 24, so we're down $100 from the original. Traffic's already picked up.
I haven't seen that.
Immediate, a couple like online calls, a couple like traffic actually through the door.
Love it.
But yeah, things are moving, which is nice.
Yeah, I saw that. I did the same thing with 12 Dina, the house I have in Casa Loma. We dropped it under 7K and the phone's been off the hook.
Right. So, yeah. People are out there. It's coming around again.
Yeah. And I think that's a very important note to say is like, a lot of the headlines are saying the rental market's down about 10% in Toronto. And so if things aren't moving, you should be open to the idea of being a little bit more aggressive in your price.
Right.
And you'll fill up your place relatively quickly.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
Yeah.
And also, it's funny that those headlines came out around December, January, when you kind of expect a slower market in general. So they're a little bit timely as well, I will say. But I totally agree with you. It's still not quite fully back yet, but it is. I'm seeing signs of life. I'm seeing signs of life coming through.
This is definitely 10 times busier than January of last year.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, right.
Like remarkably, we're slammed every single day. I'm booking out like 2 weeks in advance because I'm like, my schedule is packed, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the phones are ringing, the emails are coming through. The church is doing really well. We're up to 8 sales. We've got a lot of activity yesterday and today. The weekends packed with showing. So all really good indicators that I think we're off to a strong start for the year.
Love it. Yeah. Amazing.
Next week, we're going to have Christopher Daniel Mulder on the show.
That's right.
And we're going to refresh our predictions for the year ahead.
That's right. Yeah. And we're going to talk about some changes that happened in the mortgage world. For the last
he's going to recap kind of there's a lot of changes that happened last year that we really didn't deep dive into.
Yeah.
He's going to
unveil
the heavy lifting. Yeah. Secrets of the mortgage world unveiled. Love it. All right, man. Let's put on our wizard hats. Let's do some wisdom for the people, man.
Yeah. Wisdom time.
So why don't you kick it off? You've got something to say about closing days and
so closing days is something that I think should be talked about a little bit more. It's always it's funny, like it's common that it's a gray area of what the process should look like moving up to a closing day. So I think it's just like, I don't know, this would be a good moment to kind of lay out what your steps should be leading up to a closing day. So you've officially gone firm on a deal and you're moving towards that closing date. What should you do leading up to it, and then what you do on the day and after the day, whatever the case.
Are you taking the buyers or the seller side?
On the buyer side.
I'll take the sellers, you take the buyers.
That's perfect.
Let's do it.
So as a buyer, if you're just firmed up, you usually, well, depending on how your agreement kind of went down, you probably have buyer's visits. Typically 2 you'll have before that you can take a visit twice before closing day comes up. What I usually recommend to clients is your first 2 buyer's visits, your very first one, you want to just come with a measuring tape.
Yep.
It's a simple visit. It's mainly just like, okay, if you have furniture you're moving in or whatever the case, little things you want to pay attention to that you're planning for. It's not an inspection. That's kind of the thing I want to really make clear. It's just, you're going in, maybe you're showing a mom, maybe you're showing your whoever, whatever the case, but it's a light visit just to kind of revisit and refresh yourself after the first round.
Maybe look at some paint swabs, stuff of that nature.
Yes.
Take some measurements.
Some planning, basically.
Yeah, I like that.
Your second buyer's visit, this is the one that you want to strategically put very close to the closing day. This one might sound a little bit obvious, but you want to kind of book it a day or 2 beforehand, just to see what the place looks like. If there's somebody moving out of it, are there boxes still everywhere? Like, is there a big hole in the wall that wasn't there before? Whatever the case, something that's obvious. You want to just like take a peek and say everything's still looking good, but it's still not yet the time, unless it's built into your agreement to like start turning appliances on and turning burners on, because if something,
you don't own the place yet,
you don't own it, and if something gets left on by an accident or if there's an issue, you're getting into a really gray territory.
Yeah. And you may potentially break something in the act of doing that, which you would be liable for because you don't have permission.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
So the second visit is looking for visible damage, holes in the wall, leaks, stuff of that nature that you could basically see with your eyes, not with your hands, not stuff you're touching.
Yes, yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yeah, it's more a visual inspection and just like to see again, because if there's still boxes everywhere, that gives us an opportunity to reach out to the other side and say, hey, there's still a lot of clutter. Just want to make sure we're still on for everything's still okay for the time being. Is this stuff leaving? Gives you a little bit of that preparation. But lastly is the actual closing day. And a lot of times what we recommend is don't book your moving truck and don't book your entire plans on closing day. That closing can take place at any time from 9 in the morning to 5 or 6 p.m. at night.
Yeah, and nobody knows when it will officially close.
No. You can't dial in a time. There's no way to say, I want it to be done at 3. It just happens when it happens. There's so many moving parts that have to kind of connect.
Yep.
And it's up in the air. I've seen for most of the time, I usually see it happen at like 3 to 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And if you have a moving truck full of stuff and you're sitting in the driveway at 10 or 11 in the morning, or you're just going to be sitting there and it ruins your whole moving day. God forbid the place doesn't close on the day of and there's an extra day that's needed because funds can't get transferred. You don't want to be in that situation because that's a nightmare to deal with.
Agreed.
The good plan to do on that day is to just plan to go, let's call it 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, with nothing on you other than a couple dishes, some towels. Throw them in the dryer right away. Start your dishwasher right away. Start everything up. And if there's any issues with any appliances or anything that's warranted in the agreement, that's your opportunity to reach out to the other side and say,
something's not working.
Something's not working.
Yeah.
I just got here. I tried this out. The burner's not working.
Yeah.
And that gives you the opportunity and the best chance of actually getting and doing it properly. That it's now yours, but you haven't been there long enough that a day has elapsed that you could have destroyed it during that period.
Yeah, I just want to add to that because most of the contracts ask for a warranty that all appliances are in good working order up until the day of closing. Mm-hmm. And so that little last part of the clause is very important because if something breaks even 3 days after you've moved in, technically the sellers aren't responsible anymore. So you have a very small window. We like to say within the first 24 hours to test everything and report back to the lawyer if something is not working. Because past that, you've been in the house, nobody knows what could have happened, and it's very hard to try to get that back from the sellers at that point. I want to flip it on the seller side for a second, because you've just sold your house, you still own it, but now you have a buyer wanting to come. So I want to give you some tips on what you should be doing to make that go as seamless as possible.
Love this. Yeah.
So for that first visit, when the buyer is coming, definitely leave the house, let them have their space, let them do their thing. But if you want to leave some notes around, kind of pointing out stuff to help educate them on where things are in the house, very welcome to do. And it's just going to make them feel more comfortable with the purchase, especially like there's always little quirks in a house or a condo that a new person will have to learn over time. But if you can kind of speed up that process, I find it always makes the relationship that much.
That's such a good, that's a pro tip. That's deserved of a pro tip.
The wizards of wisdom dropping bombs.
100%, because on a buyer's side, your thought every time you go to do those buyer's visits is, how are they screwing me? What's happening? What should I be looking for? Because something's going to happen and I'm going to be responsible for some payment.
Right.
But if you have a seller who's gone that extra step to kind of note things, and it makes that relationship stronger to show that there's nothing to be worried about, and that this is all, we want to do. This is a good deal that we're all doing together.
In good faith, we're trying to welcome you to your new home type
That's
thing.
tons of comfort.
Now, on the second buyer visit, like I said, the buyer's coming to see if there's any damage done. So as a seller, what you should try to do is, if there is any damage, either show it up, like be transparent with it, have a plan to fix it, let them know it will be done, or fix it even in advance of them coming if it's a new damage that's been caused between offer and closing date. But really be open with whatever you see, and try to open that line of communication between agents and let them know, like, hey, we discovered this, we're going to get it fixed, or we'll give you some money back, or whatever the case is. Don't leave it to the last day, because there's so many moving parts on closing. You don't want lawyers trying to figure out a $200 check
issue.
It really puts everyone sideways for a very small amount when we're talking about $1 million plus purchase type thing.
Right.
But if you want this, and this has been done a few times, I thought it goes really well, you could communicate between the realtors that maybe you want to be there with the buyers to give them a walkthrough of the house, to show them, this is the lint trap for the laundry, this is the shut-off valve for the hose, this is where the electrical panel is, all those little things. Take your realtor's advice. If the realtor feels like maybe that's not a good idea because there's been some turbulence, fine. But if everything's been going smooth, I think it's always a nice touch to be there and to try and, don't take up their whole hour, but use a little bit of time just to show them where things are. And, maybe leave your number for the first week if they have any questions. And then after that, you kind of go your separate ways.
That's a great and a great tidbit to say, like, trust the agent and how smooth that relationship on both sides.
Yes. Let the agent feel out if it's appropriate to do that. And if it is, I think that's a good way to do it. Now on closing day, you brought up a good point. We don't know when closing is going to happen. It's between 9 and 5 on that dedicated date. You should be out the day before if you're a seller. There should be nothing left in the day of.
Absolutely.
So you're saying plan for the day after. I'm saying as a seller, plan for the day before. You close on the 31st, the 30th, get all your stuff out.
Yep.
Because it could happen at 9 in the morning. And when it happens, it's no longer your house.
Yep.
I've had horror stories where my buyers have showed up at 6 p.m. and the people were still in the house.
Right.
You get into a whole world of problems with insurance, with coverage, with all these potentials that could happen. So as a realtor, it's very important to coach your sellers and say, like, hey, plan the day before, not even though closing is this date. So that's my piece on the whole.
No, that's such a good back and forth, I think is necessary, and like not talked about a ton. But it's really important.
Yeah. And it's because the deal's been done. The negotiating, the hard work in the eyes of the realtors, I think, has been put in, but our job doesn't end.
No, there's more to it. And like the amount of times that you get the email after of, hey, I've been here for a couple of days. This is not right. I'm sorry to bug you, but here's some issues. And that's where, okay, now let's troubleshoot where we need to troubleshoot.
Yeah.
And knowing this stuff and planning for it helps make that all go a lot smoother. Cause again, if you're not being told this stuff and you show up, well, I'm planning to move. You told me not to move in the day of, so we're moving in next Saturday. And then you don't even go visit the place until then. And then you discover all these things.
Yeah, too late.
That's helping nobody.
Nothing you could do. The lawyers won't really be much help to you. So it's very important to document everything. Take your photos, video, whatever you need to show things are as they are. And good advice, I think.
Yeah.
Good tip.
Yeah. And you want to take the next one?
Yeah, let's talk about insurance for a bit.
Okay.
Because insurance is like, okay, lawyers and mortgage brokers and realtors are kind of like the top three that are talked about in part of the transactional process. Insurance is kind of like that. Not so popular topic. You kind of know you need to have it, but nobody really understands it.
Yep. It's a second cousin.
Second cousin, yeah, the weird one with the third eye. That's a lot of times, unfortunately, what insurance is. And I wish it was more popular and more talked about and more kind of part of the overall team. I'm talking from experience where like I've just kind of always, oh yeah, I got insurance, but I have no idea what's in the insurance.
Right.
And it's funny, I was with a major bank. I was insured by a major bank, and I'm like, I need to see my policy. And it was so incredibly hard for me to get the policy.
Really?
That I eventually left them.
You switched?
Yeah, I'm like, well, come on, if I don't know what's in my thing, like this is, I was locked out of the website. They wouldn't email it to me.
Really?
It was very odd. Yeah. I think it was just a technical thing. I don't think it was a conspiratorial thing.
Yeah.
But these wildfires in LA, we've been kind of, Adriana S. especially has been glued to her TV watching all the coverage of it. And I don't know if you know this, but two of the biggest insurer companies stopped providing fire insurance 2 months before these fires broke out.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the tinfoil caps are coming on.
Right. So I think this requires a lot of talk because it's very important to understand what your policy covers and what it doesn't. Mm-hmm. And just some very basic things. When you get house insurance, you got to remember that the cost to replace and the cost of land does go up over time. So if you've not adjusted your coverage policy in, let's say, 10 years or every 5 years, there might be a big shortfall in coverage if you do need it, if there's an unfortunate tragedy, a fire or something of that nature, where maybe you quoted $300 a foot to build your house in 2010, and now it's $600 a foot.
Right.
You've only been paying for coverage at $300. So it's very important to every 5 years, maybe have that conversation, reach out to your realtor, speak with the insurance broker and say like, where's my coverage at? Should I be adjusting to make sure I have enough?
Yeah.
Now, why this is top of mind to me is TD sent me, for one of my rental properties, sent me a letter this week saying, we insure your house, but we don't know the age of your roof. And we're going to be scaling back on coverage caused from damage of roofs. Huh. If you don't tell us when your roof was rebuilt or repaired. Yeah, thank you.
Maintained, yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't, we're going to assume it was done when the house was built. So my houses were built in 1935-ish.
Yeah.
So if I don't update them as when the last time it was done, they're going to assume that. And any damage that comes from that, I'm going to be limited in my coverage.
Oh.
Or potentially not covered at all.
Right.
And it was a bit of a shocker to receive that.
Yeah, that's an odd...
I've never had an insurance company reach out with something like that. So I think the reason for all this is there's so much claims being made with all these natural disasters going on in North America that they're trying to limit the amount of liability they'll have. And I get both sides of the argument because, if you don't maintain your house, you do have a responsibility to maintain your house and limit the amount of damage that can be done in the event of a natural disaster. So I see both sides of the coin, but I think the key takeaway here is talk to an insurance broker, revisit what your policy covers, and really make sure that you have enough coverage for what you'll need.
If you've been holding on to something for a while, if we haven't looked at it in a while.
Yeah, and if you do get a letter, I don't know if other companies are doing it. I'm with CAA and TD. I only received it from TD, but don't discard that letter. Mm-hmm. Call them, give them a year. Don't make it up. Obviously, try to figure out when it was done and have that conversation so they do have it on file. And maybe even consider replacing your roof if it is over 20 years old, because you're going to have substantially less or possibly no coverage at all if there is damage caused from that. Right. They specifically reference snow and ice damming on the roof as a big problem that's been happening with claims. So they're toughening up their.
It's rough. Yeah, it's rough. Insurance is I know why it's the weird cousin for sure, because it's a frustrating game to play.
It is, man. And I'll tell you something else from speaking from experience. So we have content insurance. Like when you have a policy, everybody has content insurance, and that covers your couch and your TV and all that stuff. But there's a separate part of the insurance policy that covers jewelry. Mm. And what a lot of people don't know how much that coverage is. And at one point, TD, as part of their basic coverage, was $50,000, which is a big amount of coverage. Right. I know another company that's only $5,000 of coverage. So you really have to look and see based on what your, those type of precious metals and jewelries, watches, and that type of nature. And if it covers it, because we've had tons of break-ins happening in the city. Right. And I have a friend of mine who got his home broken into and had a very nice watch stolen from him. And the insurance companies only covered $5,000.
Oh, really?
They had 2 very nice watches stolen from him.
That doesn't surprise me that they What was the reason? What was the policy that, do you know?
So the insurance company held up their end of the bargain.
Right.
But they were only covered for that $5,000 amount.
Got you.
And so like the land value, if you start getting more jewelry over the years and, wedding rings and stuff of that nature, you should really look at how much coverage you have to ensure that if you do have a break-in or a fire, flood, or whatever, you are covered under that.
Right. Very interesting.
Crazy.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
Also not talked about very much.
It's not. I'm going through this right now where if you are going to try to if you want more coverage for certain pieces, you have to go to a jeweler, get your piece appraised, bring it to the insurance company. Like you got to have your ducks in a row with this stuff.
Right.
And it's like your mind just spirals because it's like, even if you do everything the right way, now where's your copies of all this stuff?
Right.
Is it in the house that got burnt down?
Yeah.
Because they're showing safes in LA that are burnt to a crisp. And these were like 3-hour fire retardant safes.
Get out of here. Yeah.
Burnt to a crisp. So digital backups are so, it's a big.
Yeah, it's a commitment.
It's a big commitment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing you have to pay. You have to put a lot of work into. It doesn't just say, okay, I'm going to pay my premium and then just you
walk away.
Yeah.
You really got to. And that's where I think what we're saying, like insurance does need to be a bigger player in the team of professionals you consult when you get into home ownership. And even if you're a tenant, you still have a tenant policy. You need to ensure your contents and any jewelry you have is covered correctly.
Yeah, this is something that I think even insurance brokers should be speaking. I mean, it's like they're already lengthy conversations whenever you're going through and figuring out your policy.
Yeah.
But this is such important details that just go right under the rug whenever you're do you want jewelry insurance? Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. That's
next question.
Yeah.
And like in condos, a lot of people don't get what's the one floods. They don't get flood coverage.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, I'm in a condo. How would I get flooded on the 20th floor? Toilet backups.
Right.
That's how.
Yeah,
and they're more common than you think. And so when they ask you that question, I advise you say
floods.
Get me the coverage.
If you're in a condo, floods 100%.
Yeah,
it's like one of the most common damages that take place.
Yeah, is water.
Water damage. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely brutal. And the deductibles, pay attention to deductibles as well. Speaking of the insurance topic, also another thing that comes up is deductible insurance. If you're in a condo and you're going through home insurance, deductible insurance is actually something that I was talking about this with a client recently, and I was saying like you should pay attention to this because the deductible for water damage is like $50,000. So if something happens to your unit, you're going to be responsible for the first $50,000.
Wow!
But there is insurance if you call the building's insurance company.
Yeah,
you can and get insured by them. There's deductible insurance.
Wow!
So you can insure yourself of that massive deductible
that you're at risk for. Yeah, you're responsible. I did not know that. That's news I can use.
Yes,
deductible insurance. Wow, interesting.
Yeah. So so pay attention to those insurance sheets that they give you are not just a glance over. Like take a look at what those deductibles look like, and that could be a conversation.
Yeah, there's a poem about insurance that I'm going to get wrong, but it's something like it's like a riddle. It's like, what is something you have but hope you never have to use and should be happy to pay for in case you don't? And the answer is insurance.
Right.
I think it was when you called the cooperators. There was like a calm voice that would play that back. So I've been like conditioned.
Slowly programming.
Yeah, they're programming me there. But in all seriousness, it's one of those catch-22 things where you're like, man, I've never used my policy. Why do I keep paying for it? Well, it's because when one of those, you can't plan for these type of incidents, and you want to just make sure you have the coverage for when they do arise. So that's why we do it. And it does feel like wasted money. You can go a decade of never having a claim, knock on wood, thank God.
Yeah.
But in that 11th year, if something happens, you're going to be very happy that you've followed our advice and every 5 years updated your policy and looked at it. So
yeah, stick with it. Honestly, it can save you. It can save you lots of headaches.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that was a good topic that I didn't expect to dive that deep into.
Yeah. And I think this inspired me to maybe reach out. Let's try to find an insurance broker to come on and maybe share some of those deeper, put the wizard hat on and then let them share some wisdom of,
so any new guest gets the wizard hat.
The wizard hat. Well, we could be like a wizard hat, and if we don't like them, it could be a dunce cap. So we could
we'll change it.
Depending on their performance. But yeah, I think that'd be a very valuable episode to have.
Yeah, I like it.
You had an interesting thing with condo windows.
Yeah, condo windows. So here's something that is kind of sounds like it shouldn't be a gray area, but it is. If your exterior window, if you're in a showing and you're seeing some type of crack in the exterior window, don't automatically assume that it's the building's responsibility because it's a part of the exterior window. I will say a lot of the times that is the case, and you can probably be safe about it, but
it's worth asking a question.
Yes, and these rules are dictated in that declaration and in that in the bylaws of the condo building of how whose responsibility lies where. So if you're in a building and you're seeing a crack, and no, I would say a lot of the time it's the question of how, and that's the big
How and where.
How and where, right? Yes. So the how is, well, how did it happen? But then the where is it on the inside of the window or is it on the outside of the window? And you want to realistically, you're asking management and going through the process with them
and checking the declaration, because sometimes property managers aren't completely aware of what is and isn't covered.
Yes, and you actually have a very good story on this. I think you should reshare.
Which one? The window one?
No, for your I think it was your furnace. Yeah,
absolutely. So I would say like 98% of condos in the city, it is the owner's responsibility to fix their furnace. At Treviso Phase 1, 800 Lawrence, where I live there, the declaration had the furnace as the condo corp's responsibility. And obviously the coldest day of the year, my furnace stopped working, or my heat pump stopped working. And I called management and they're like, no, it's your responsibility to fix. Haha. Wrong. I am the wizard of wisdom. And I was on the condo board and I had read the declaration like a loser, thank God. Not a loser, like a nerd, I should say, because I won this one. And in it said that it was the condo corp's responsibility. And I must have helped at least 15 people in that building avoid
it's amazing
crazy costs that would have been passed on because the property manager, I don't want to say was lazy, but was not, A-type enough to really go in and get clarity on who's responsible for it. So whenever there's one of those gray areas, think your condo door, even leaks, that's a gray area of where the leak started from. Was it the condo corp's pipes or was it your own? Mm-hmm. Windows is another big one. It's definitely worth your time to look at the declaration and the bylaws first.
Yep.
Try to get yourself well versed on where the responsibility lies. Then pose the question to the property manager and see what they say.
Yep.
And sometimes they might, the opposite might work true for you where they just don't know. And they're like, yeah, we're going to cover it. And it might be a responsibility.
Right. And exactly. It might lay in your favor regardless.
Yeah. So load yourself up with the facts first, pose the question, see what the response is, and then use your backup if needed or let them cover it if not. But another thing happened at Treviso as well, where two separate clients had broken windows. Mm-hmm. One was on the outside, one was on the inside. And I just figured, it's a window, it's a condo corp's responsibility. But when you read the declaration of bylaws, it was where is the damage caused? Mm-hmm. So if it's on the inside, because they're double pane, they assume that you must have knocked into it. And if it's on the outside, well, it's hard to break a condo window unless you're Superman on the outside. So that was the deciding factor as to who would be responsible for it.
Right. So, yeah, and that's exactly it. It's the how and it's the where.
Yeah.
If the scratch is where the scratch or where the crack is, and but again, it's like let's approach it in a way where get yourself informed and then just ask the question.
Yeah, because it's the how and the where and the which is the building. Because each building might have its own set of rules and declarations.
100%.
And that's where it's very important to really dive in deep there. But that's one of those common problems that happens to far more people than you would think. And I'm glad we're bringing some attention to this because people need to know.
Yeah, 100%. Because I've been in past showings where we've looked at, we've been in units where there's cracked windows and it's like, but that's the building's issue anyway. So I don't have to worry about that.
Right.
Not quite. I think there's clarity we have to figure out before we move forward on it.
Yeah, and exterior doors. I'm dealing with another thing in a building where the exterior door was damaged from one of the move outs. And I asked the condo corp whose responsibility. It's theirs.
Yep.
But they're like, there's no plans to fix the doors right now. So we're going to leave it damaged until we have a master plan to replace them all.
Right.
And they're within their right to say that. So lots of gray areas in interpretation when it comes to this type of stuff.
Yeah.
So just do it systematically, check your declaration, and then ask your questions.
Like it. Love it. What do you got next on the
water? I want to talk about water. Bruce Lee, be like water. We talked about this last year, and it's so shocking to me that this isn't a bigger story, but the City of Toronto's recording devices of water usage in individual homes is broken. It's broken.
Yeah, I know. This is so crazy that this is still happening.
These meters are broken, and they've been broken for a long time. And I've been talking about it to people, and finally now I think it's starting to get some legs. The story is starting to pick up. So one simple way to know if your reading device is not working properly is to check your water bill. And on the right side of your water bill, if the amount you're paying is highlighted yellow, there's going to be a small paragraph below it that says, we're not accurately reading your water usage. We are doing an estimate. We will just pay this amount and they don't even say they're going to credit you back, to be fair, in the first rendition.
Yeah.
However, this week I got 2 letters from the City of Toronto saying, we are aware that they are broken and here are the steps you need to take to get an accurate reading. They also said that they will credit you back anything you've overpaid. So finally in writing, it's there. This is not an only Toronto problem. This is a supplier problem. So the company that has, and let me just be clear, your water consumption is still being recorded. That is not the problem. It's the device that sends that recording to the city is broken. Yeah. And the company doesn't have a plan to fix it. I've researched this deeply. They're saying it's under warranty and they're working on something, but there's nothing in the pipeline that's coming. I think just stay on top of that, check your water bills. And if something seems higher than usual, call the city 311, the numbers in the letters that they send out. And I'm going to put a link down below if you're watching this podcast and want to learn more about it. Go to the city website. They tell you exactly what to do. So they do have a plan in place to help correctly record the amounts.
Yeah. Okay. So there is action to take.
Yeah. There is a plan now. Finally, it's being talked about, but it wasn't really.
I can't believe that for this long. It's just been up in the air.
I will say over Christmas, I had a few people ask about that if I've heard anything. And I'm like, yes, I'm the guy. I know so much about this. Sit down. And then they walked away like, why do we ask this guy this question? But meters, keep an eye out on that because,
the overcharging is starting.
And
you'll probably you are responsible for any reimbursement if it comes.
Yeah, you have to keep a record of that and you have to tell the city that they've been wrong. So just build a case up, maybe create a little spreadsheet and have that all accurately put together.
Yep. Love it.
I want to talk about another tidbit that I would suggest people do. If you have a rental property, put together an Excel spreadsheet to track your income and expenses for the year. I've been doing this for a couple clients and I think I'm going to put together a nice branded one and make available for anyone who wants to download it, have like a simple tracker, because at the end of every year, you will be including your rental property and your income taxes. Your accountant's going to want to know a very detailed breakdown of everything.
Right.
And to save yourself a ton of time of running through the numbers, having this little spreadsheet will save you.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. A little tidbit from the Wizards of Wisdom here. Not a whole segment, but just something I was working on for a client. I think I'm going to put together a nice
uniform.
A downloadable one. Yeah, pretty one. Make it all nice and fancy and stuff. But,
love that idea.
Yeah, a nice tracker to show you profit and loss goes a long way, especially for tax time.
That's a great idea. I'll be passing that out to whoever I can.
Yeah, appreciate that. Well, especially we work with a lot of landlords and stuff of that nature. So
100%.
Yeah, good to know. I'm good, man. Any other things that come to mind?
No, I think we did a good run of things.
Yeah. This is just a random breakdown. In truth, it's to stall because we wanted to do Christopher Mulder this week, but he is busy. So we're like, you know what? Let's drop some nuggets of stuff that we could share with people.
Yeah, it's a little all-encompassing. It's a bunch of conversations we've been having over the last year. And I think it's good. It's a nugget information.
Yeah,
a nugget episode.
Nugget episode. Ooh, that's a good one too. Can you AI me into a nugget?
A nugget? Yeah, of course.
Vegetarian nugget.
Yeah, of course.
From Ichiban Ramen. Cool, man. Any shout outs you want to give?
Shout out Mr. Z's, Mr. Zagros.
Mr. Zagros.
And that plaza.
Yeah.
Keelan Lawrence
Plaza, I think it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to shout out Banana Bucks and Dougie Dollars.
Shout out Banana Bucks.
My beautiful $12 suede shirt. Love it. Adriana S is probably going to have a nightmare washing this thing. Yeah. But even if I wear it once, I think I got my values worth.
Yeah, $12, you're good, man.
Yeah. I want to say go Bills go.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we're recording today's episode on a Sunday. Bills are playing Kansas City. If they win this, they're going to the Super Bowl.
There we go.
I've been a fan of this team for 11 months. I don't think you know the trials and tribulations I've been through. I've seen nothing but wins with this team, and I am so stoked to hopefully see one more.
So invested. I love it.
Yeah, it's a big game today. If they pull this off for the 5th time in franchise history, they'll be going to the Super Bowl.
All right.
Any guesses on how many Super Bowls they've won so far?
1?
0.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's why it's such a big deal. Rooting for you, Bills. Go, Josh Allen.
God, I love it. When the fans are that diehard, though, it's all you can root for.
Like I said, 11 months invested in this team. I'm ready. I'm ready. If they pull this off, do you know how long I've been a Leaf fan for? 39 years. I've never seen success. If in 11 months the Bills pull this off, this will be the greatest bandwagon I've ever jumped on.
I love it.
Let's go, Bills. Want to shout out? Oh, we went to Zeets last week.
Yeah.
You ever been to Zeets?
No, I've never been to Zeets.
Okay, we went to Zeets in Woodbridge. Shout out Zeets Woodbridge. It was really good.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't make the news, the How's Your Week Where You Can Eat, because I think the ramen was more topical, but I'll bring that up.
All right, and the next one. Yeah, Zeets I do follow on Instagram. I actually follow them on Instagram.
Oh, Zeets is very Joey approved.
Yeah, their portions are absolutely.
One plate should do you in. Yeah, I think it'd be good. But we got the calamari on the side, so shout out Zeets.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if there's ever any of these weird circumstances that come up around like random questions, even if you're not our clients, you can reach out to us.
100%.
Yeah, we're friendly.
Yeah, or comment and ask further because we can dedicate more episodes onto if you want us to dive deeper on anything.
Any show topics you want us to reach deeper into.
Yeah, 100%.
We're ready.
Very happy to.
Yeah. We're going to make this a big year this year.
Yeah.
What's your goal for subs? How many YouTube subs do you want?
It's wrong with my brain when you said that. I literally had thought Mr. Sub in my mind.
Belly Buster.
Yeah, Belly Busters. I was like, I'd probably like.
You can answer that too.
100.
What's your goal? 100 subs you want it down this year?
I could do 100 subs this year.
52 weeks in a year, 2 subs a week. Yeah, you got that.
I got that.
You got that. You're probably doing that right now. You're on track. Yeah, it's not a target.
2 subs a sitting is what's happening. So that's once a week for me.
Yeah. You can break it up and do twice a week, 1 sub.
Yesterday I also, speaking of that burrito boys, did I overdo it?
2 burritos?
2 burritos, 2 quesadillas. Yeah. Yeah. Needless to say, today has been, we're foggy from here.
Good Lord. You should have you ever considered like going to a food eating competition?
No, I haven't actually done it.
Really?
Or thought about it. Yeah. No, not in a real way.
You should. You would win. There's one we do on Marley. It's a corn on the cob eating competition.
Oh, corn. I'm not the biggest.
Not the biggest?
I've done wings. I've actually done wings against a friend that I used to work with.
And did you win?
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah. 66 wings, which I don't think is that crazy.
No, that's a lot.
Okay.
That's a lot. There's about 8 to 10 wings in a pound. So you had 6 pounds of wings.
Yeah.
That's a lot of wings, man.
It was a bad day for birds. I will say that.
Yeah, a terrible day for birds. Wow. Amazing.
Not to diverse this ending.
We could wrap it up there.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Joey's a wing champion of the world. Thanks for listening. Any questions, comments, concerns? Leave a message.
Yeah, absolutely.
Call in. And tune in next week where Christopher Daniel is going to be with us.
Love it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Enjoy.
Thanks for listening to the Toronto Livings Real Estate Podcast. You could find more information on how we work over at torontolivings.com. Be sure to sign up for our newsletter to get price reports from over 150 different neighborhoods in the city each and every month.
If you got any value, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And if you made it this far, thanks for listening.